What's up, guys? Welcome back to Subscriber Request Sunday. Today I'm going to be doing a look using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This has been something that's been requested a few times here on my channel, and I figured I, need to use this. It's in my project pan, so I want to hit pan on a few of these shades, if not all of them at some point in time, but we'll see how that goes. Today I'm actually going to be using a lot of the shades I don't get a lot of use out of, like a lot of the shades that are the least used. For me, it's Buon, Fresco, Antique Bronze, Red Ochre, Golden Ochre. These are the ones that just don't get used as much as the others. Realgar just a little bit, but I do lately have been trying to use this one more often. But yeah, I just wanted to use a lot of the shades that I just, don't really use. And that is how this look came about. I hope you guys like it. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the Makeup Store Sculpt Excellence Foundation in the shade Cotton. This is one of the first times I ever used it, maybe like the second or third time I ever used it. So at this point I did use a foundation brush as well as a beauty blender to try and blend it out. But I've since said, like in my monthly recap video, that I prefer using just a beauty blender to blend it out. I find that it's a lot less cakey that way, because when I use a brush, it tends to go ahead and start setting down a little bit faster than I would like, such that I don't really have time to thin it out a lot with a beauty blender before it starts to dry down. So just so you know, I like the foundation. I just think it works better when I use it on my face with just a beauty blender by itself. Then I'm just going to go in with concealer and put it in like the more bluish areas of my eye sockets. Going to highlight the outer corners of my mouth a bit, highlight the center of my forehead, my temples, and blend that out. Then I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Lock-It Blotting Powder in the shade Light, and I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush just to set my under eye and basically just set anywhere I put that concealer, but I'm not going to set the rest of my face because I found that I don't necessarily have to do that with this foundation. And of course I was experimenting at this point with it, so. Now I'm going to set my entire eyelid with the shade Tempera. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Golden Ochre, and I'm putting that right in my crease with that same Morphe M576 taper blending brush. Then I'm taking that orange shade Realgar on a MAC 217, and I'm going to start by putting it on the outer corner and inner corner of my eye. And then I eventually changed my mind and just put it all over my entire lid. But I'm basically keeping it on my lid beneath my crease, maybe a little bit into my crease, but not too much. I just want to make sure it's blended, but at the same time, I'm not bringing it up on my brow bone at all. I'm just going to keep packing that on my eyelid until I've basically got my eyelids matching. Then I'm going to take that little Morphe blending brush. I think it's a Morphe M506. I'm going to take the shade Antique Bronze, which is a shade that I just don't seem to get a lot of use out of. So that's what I've been kind of trying to do lately, is use that a little bit more, and I am putting that on the inner and outer corner of this eye look here. I'm just packing it on kind of heavily because it is not the most pigmented shade in the palette, but I mean it's workable. I don't dislike it, but I'm just packing it on pretty heavily on the inner and outer corner, and then connecting it on the bottom of my brow bone there, just barely. Then I'm actually going to take the shade Primavera, and I'm patting that all over my lid with my finger. Blending that out a bit with the MAC 217 and the shade Realgar. Then I'm going to take a Real Techniques shading brush, and I'm going to dampen it with setting spray and go back over top of that with Primavera again, but just to make it more metallic this time. And then of course, put a little bit more Antique Bronze on the inner and outer corners. Then I'm just going to bronze my face. I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Light Bronze as usual, and a Real Techniques multitask brush. For blush, I'm just going to use like a neutral pink blush. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Party. This is the birthday gift from Sephora from last year. For highlight, I'm actually going to take Becca's Moonstone on a Real Techniques brush and put that obviously on my cheekbones and my temples. And I'm just going to blend out my eyeshadow a bit because this is kind of what I do. I go back and forth with blending the entire time I'm doing my makeup. Then I decided I'm just going to drag that orange shade up a little bit right to kind of meet my brow on the inner corner here. Then I'm going to take a fan brush and just layer a little bit more of that highlight on to make it a little bit more intense. And once again, I'm going to go back in, blend out some of the edges on my eye, touch it up just a little bit. Then I'm taking an e.l.f. smudge brush, and I'm taking the shade Red Ochre, and I'm just going to take that really, really close to my waterline on my lower lash line and just pack it on pretty heavily here. I'm going to take that little Morpheum 506 and Buon Fresco. I'm going to use that to blend out my lower lash line here, just to give it a more dingy look as opposed to like a bright red. For my waterline, I'm going to use Colourpop's Cream Gel Eyeliner in the shade Mr. Bing. It's basically just a warm brown eyeliner. For my brows, I'm going to use the NYX Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Black. As well as the Essence Make Me Brow Mascara in the shade Brownie Brows. Then I'm just going to use the Essence Lash Princess False Effect Mascara as per usual. For lips, I'm using MAC's Currant Lip Liner and then MAC's Retro Matte Lipstick in the shade Sin, which I did basically entirely out of frame. Sorry about that, but that's the finished look right there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think about me doing this as a series where I just do like an entire series dedicated to this one palette. So yeah, if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber and you want to be, just hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.